battle we've all been waiting for. It's finally here. They were hyping it up. This was like the Mayweather Conor McGregor in the Dragon Ball Super World.
Well, unlike Mayweather, Conor McGregor,
but unlike that,
one actually lived up to the hype. That's the thing. That's the difference. Like it actually lived up to it.
Of course, we're talking about episodes 109 and 110. Hey everybody, thanks for listening to this new episode, and of course, let's get right into it, man. This is what the hype was all about. This is what I like to call how many shades of Goku does it take to defeat Jiren. And boy, did we find out that there was a lot that Jiren could take that meant nothing to this character. What did you think about the fight overall? At least up to this point, right? And at least in the beginning, it seemed that, you know, Jiren. I mean, it was one of those things that I kind of knew. Like when it first started, I was like, obviously, get to God mode, you know. But he had to go through everything. He went through regular, two. Even when he went blue, I was like, he's got to get stronger. Like this, they hyped this guy up. So I wasn't really. How do you say it? I mean, it was definitely a good show. The animation was really good with that initial part, but I was like, okay, get to the part like, how strong do you have to be to defeat this guy? And you know, when he got to blue, I was like, okay. And then he did what is it, Kaioken
times 20,
and that didn't work. I was like, okay, now we're seeing how strong this guy is, because it wasn't like he was even scared of that form. He was just like, okay, there's another form. So when it got to that part, I was like, oh, damn, this guy is strong.
Well, the main thing that when it comes to like when him testing out the forms, I liked how when the Supreme Kai was saying this, which shows you how much an amateur he is. Because he was saying, why doesn't Goku just go Super Saiyan God on Jiren? None of this other stuff is working. I like what Krillin stepped in there as being the fight tactician he is. He says, no, you don't understand. This is how the man gets down. This is how he tests his Jiren's abilities. Because up until this point, Goku hasn't really seen him fight too much. Jiren has been watching Goku. Jiren is recognizing Goku as being the man. He says, as much as Goku's testing out Jiren now, Jiren's been observing Goku and he's recognizing Goku as being on his level. He's not looking at the way you're looking at it, like, well, he's beneath him. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, he would not want to fight at this point. He was saying he's using, his base form to test his limit, using Super Saiyan to test his next limit, using Super Saiyan 2 for the next one. You know what I'm saying? And he was going through all of them. Even when Red, he saw a Red, well, actually, with Jiren, actually had to start doing some blocking. And Goku realized, okay, so now you're getting a little serious, because now with everything else prior to Red, it wasn't even phasing you. So I can't do anything less than Red. So then when he was starting blocking Red, but Goku realized, he's still too good for Red. So I got to go blue. And I like the fact when he was doing this stuff, because he was really like engaging him. This is what Goku does. Like a lot of fans have a problem with that. They look at a Supreme Kai style. Let's go ahead. Why don't you just go to God? But Goku has to conserve himself, because mind you, the clock is still ticking on this thing, which they said, which is only halfway into the tournament. He still has other fights left. There's still a Hit out there. There's still a Toppo out there. There's still other people out there. He has to go ahead and pace himself in the event that the other people from his universe can't get it done, because there's other fights after this. So he's not just looking at this fight. He's looking at this being the main fight, but he knows there's other fights. So, and this is what Goku drives on. So he lives for this shit, and I fucking love it. I mean, even when he was fighting prior to this with Brienne, and she had to go Super Brienne on him, he was really just in his base form. Then when he was like, okay, let me go Super Saiyan a little bit to keep up with Super Brienne, he's like, okay, let me just eliminate her with blue. And he was about to do that. Then he showed Jiren and stuff, which I felt like was definitely an insight of his character, how he didn't even want to eliminate the chick. This whole tournament is about eliminating people. She was beneath him. He was grilling him, and I just, I'll tell you right now, I've seen this episode maybe a dozen times.
It's a great episode.
It is. It's a great episode. Like overall, like this has easily been my favorite episode of the entire fucking tournament, easily.
That's
Easily
why I
been.
think that's why I think you're right. It's like the hype was definitely there, but it definitely lived up to the hype. Like you
It
definitely
did, because
saw.
everything from the stare down with those two when he was just fucking grilling Goku, and Goku was just like, "Okay, so you're ready? We're gonna do this,
Hmm.
right? We're gonna do this now." And Garen was just giving that look like, "Oh yeah." Even when the fucking God Destruction, when he was talking to him telepathically, he was like, Garen, it's time for you to eliminate Goku. I want you to fight the Saiyan. And Garen's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? You knew it was just on. It was gonna be epic, and it
Yep.
really was, because it's like this is one of the few times that the main character in Goku has ever really been handled the way he's been handled here, like where
Right.
he's was literally left with no options. Even when you thought Kaioken 20 was gonna be an option, then you come to find out, like, wait a second, no, like, cause that's one thing Krillin was saying. He was like, well, Goku still has Kaioken 20, and Whis had pointed out the shit. I was like, no, he's using that right now, and I'm like, that's 20, and his shit is not even really able to do too much against this guy. Like, he's landing, but it's not really being effective, and he's just taking a beating in the whole process of this. I haven't seen Goku ever get handled like that. I mean,
Yeah.
Beerus handled Goku like that, but Goku's a Super Saiyan 3. As a god, I didn't even think it was really possible other than like an angel to do this to him. I
Hmm.
mean, the fact that this is a non-angel doing this to him. Because even a god of destruction cannot handle Goku like this. Even Beerus cannot handle Goku like this. Like, Beerus could definitely beat him soundly,
Right.
but he's not handling him like this. Like, there's always a fight. Like, it'll be competitive somewhat. Where Goku really
Hmm.
still doesn't have a chance of beating him, but it's competitive. With Garen, it's not competitive, which just shows you like the level Garen's at. But there was things about this, like I felt like I said, there's a lot of stuff that was left unsaid, and the left unsaid stuff. It's a shame because they actually explain some of this stuff in the manga. And when I was reading the manga,
Hmm.
Topo says it early on in the manga. I
Hmm.
actually read it recently, like it just came out. When I read, Topo
Hmm.
said in the beginning that Garen is more powerful than him. He said he's even more powerful than his god of destruction. He already states that there, but over here it's like a mystery up until that episode. In the manga, he
Right.
says it early on before the tournament kicks off. He says that Garen's more powerful than the god of destruction. He's
Ah.
he says that. He says that he's more powerful than his own god of destruction and whatnot, because Topo's actually
Damn.
gonna take over to become the god of destruction. And at that point, Topo had just beaten Goku in the preliminaries, not like in the anime where
Right.
Goku almost kills Topo in blue form. No, that's not even the case. Like, Topo's handling all his god forms, and he actually beats Goku. He eliminates him and stuff, which actually has Goku thinking like, oh shit, so how powerful is Garen, which sets up Garen to see how strong he is.
Right.
And they show it in that, and I was really impressed with the character, like the way he is. He's so fucking methodical. Like, I haven't seen a character like that. He's silent
Yeah, he
but
has
deadly.
exactly. Yeah, that's the thing that I liked is like this is the first character that wasn't a villain that just had that stone face and was just so confident that it was just an interesting fight to see one person kind of in the Goku side, like you said, testing to see what this character is about, and on the other side the character who's just like, I know how good I am, I want to see how good you are, but not in a he's just so confident, and the beginning of that fight was so good because you could just see the differences in their fighting styles just based on the confidence level and the styles of figuring out how to figure each other out, if that makes sense. And yeah, and to get to that point where Goku does the old reliable, when all else fails, you gotta go Spirit Bomb, and I thought that was interesting, that that he was able to do that and able to release it, and then have Garen just again not being phased by it, just being like, what is this? What are you doing? This means nothing to me. And the interesting is the thing is, and I wanted to bring this up with you. What do you think about this whole? Now, is it this? And maybe because you read the manga, maybe I don't know if they explained it. Is it that Goku absorbed the Spirit Bomb into himself? Like, how did he get this new technique or this new level, whatever we want to call it? Because for me, it kind of reminded me of when when Trunks in the future, when people were giving him the power and he kind of got that energy and used it on himself rather than doing like a spirit bomb, he created like the sword and he was getting stronger. So was it something like that? Was it that Goku absorbed all the power of the spirit bomb?
No, I mean, well, the thing about the anime is that it's so different in the manga. That's why I was talking about the Topo stuff, because mind you, in the anime, Topo gets smashed by Goku. I didn't even think like Topo's ever really on his level, though Goku could fight him on Red. But the manga, they show Topo's level. He's actually more powerful in Red. Even he's on par with Blue. With this, it's a kind of same thing. There's these left unsaid things, because you got the question. You just said that big question mark, and I feel like in anime they're not going to explain it, because they don't explain themselves good as the animators they do in the manga. In the manga, actually they've been setting up from day fucking one almost. When every time Whis has been training with Goku and Vegeta about Ultra Instinct. He's been explaining that, like how to go in there and unlock Ultra Instinct. He's been telling them to fight and to, without thinking, to go out there and do that. And that's why he says, like he said, until you guys do that, you're not going to be able to beat Beerus. And he's been explaining that to them from the beginning. But meanwhile, in the anime, you only had like one mention of it, and that was it. That was it.
And that was in this in the 110. That was that was the first mention of it. The first and only mention of it.
And then when it comes to like with the Trunks thing in the anime, that's Trunks becomes all powerful by doing stuff like that. Super Saiyan Rage, and then later on learning how to do like his own version of the Spirit Bomb without really having been taught it like Goku. But in all reality, in the anime, I mean the manga, he never gets Super Saiyan Rage. He never even goes ahead and gets that technique with like the Spirit Bomb type technique. This never happens. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
this is some anime stuff. So what you're seeing right now could be just an anime thing, because I haven't read that far in the manga. I haven't seen a manga come out like that. I think the manga is like really behind on the on the series. At least the translations I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? So because I think there's more interest to put the manga, the anime stuff out than there is the manga stuff.
The manga.
So there are a few people I've seen doing that. So I don't know exactly what the explanation is and stuff. But when it comes to this, I think from my guessing is from what I'm guessing and stuff is that Krillin was saying, it was Tien. He had said, well, even if Goku absorbed the Spirit Bomb, Garen easily handled the Spirit Bomb. So him absorbing it shouldn't still have been able to make him as powerful as Garen. Then Whis had explained it like, well, no, the Spirit Bomb, saying end up replenishing Goku's already depleted body. So meaning he just really recuperated his energy, and then it acted like a trigger for him. Which really wasn't really explained, like also because it still doesn't make sense. Like
vague.
like where? Okay, so on it replenishes his body. Now he has Ultra Instinct, which allows him to fight without really thinking. But how do you explain
where
the
did that
power?
come from?
Yeah. How do you explain the speed? How do you explain the power and stuff? Now with the Ultra Instinct stuff, like I said, he's been working on that from day one when he's been training with Whis. But except the problem is that when you watch the anime, then they haven't really set it up.
They never mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah, they only mention it once and stuff, and that's not consistent talk from when it comes to something so important like that. Because he's been explaining that to Vegeta and Goku. Vegeta at one point actually uses Ultra Instinct for a brief second against Whis when they were sparring against each other. You know what I'm saying? But he kind of closed his eyes and ended up blocking one of Whis' attacks. And Beerus, who's also been trying to work on Ultra Instinct, which is an important thing. Ultra Instinct is not a little thing to just oversight. It's a big thing. Even Beerus and all the gods of destruction have not learned Ultra Instinct. The only ones that seem to know Ultra Instinct is the angels. Grand Priest, the angels, and that's it.
That
even
was pretty
Beerus
interesting
himself
to see.
doesn't know how to use Ultra Instinct, which goes back to like the anime. I mean the manga. In the manga, Beerus actually, you see him using Ultra Instinct for a little bit. His version of it's not as good as Goku's though, because at one point in the anime they had where the preliminaries was where Goku, Gohan, and Majin Buu are fighting against the three Wolf Brothers. That doesn't happen. The preliminaries actually was the gods of destruction fighting each other in a free for all, in a battle royale, and. They realized that it was because of Goku that this tournaments happened in the first place, so they come after Beerus. So you still see all 11 gods of destruction attack Beerus, and Beerus, without even like really like seeing them, like the attacks coming, he's end up blocking and dodging all their attacks. And Goku's asking Whis about this. How's he doing that? Well, when Whis was saying that, oh, Beerus has learned a technique, what I've been trying to teach you and Vegeta about fighting without thinking. He's using Ultra Instinct, but at one point he gets trapped by one of the gods of destruction, the machine god. And then Goku said what happened there, and then Whis explained, well, even Beerus is not perfect, meaning he didn't perfect Ultra Instinct, but Goku did. So that's an interesting thing that people have really oversight, and I feel like the anime needs to really go out there and explain that better. Now, this episode in general was still a success in my opinion. This could have been better if you were just really built up to that thing, because they were hyping it up like, oh, Goku has a new form, but you could have really been hyping up from the beginning if you explained it from the beginning, like little by little, like this dude and Vegeta are working towards this. Where now he just kind of like now when you're watching, it's just like he just has it. You don't know why, but he has it. Meanwhile, he's actually been training with this for years, trying to learn how to perfect it. He just hasn't done it until this fight. And even in this fight, he doesn't really quite perfect it yet. Like, there's still that mystery, like, okay, why did it shut off?
Yeah, that was another thing too, because if it's a mystery, he used it had like a limit, and then he thought that he had Jiren's number, and then nope. It went away. What I like to call the glow, because it reminded me of The Last Dragon. For those of you who hasn't seen The Last Dragon, check it out. But that was when he came out and everything was like slow-mo and he was able to see stuff. I was like, oh, is this The Last Dragon?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's blocking Toppo
Leroy?
and Death Note's attacks without even seeing them and stuff, and just repelling them and stuff away. He's blocking and dodging all of Girin's punches. I mean, listen, if Goku perfects that, Girin's dead. That's what I saw in that fight. Because he was not keeping up with Goku. Goku, when he was getting fucking pissed, he was like, rah! And then he fucking caught him with that knee, which I thought was fucking great. Then he fucking caught him with that energy attack. And he was about to look for that fucking Superman punch and finish the fight. But, of course, it disappeared. And I thought, like I said, I thought that fight was just amazing. I love that song they had while they were fighting. I was like, whoa, what the fuck is that? I got to get that shit. That shit's hot. I thought it was real hot. I mean, like I said, I've seen the episode at least 12 times. I actually was working out the other day to it. Yeah. I had, my iPod died, so I went ahead and went on YouTube, got the fight, and I was just running to that shit.
Listening to the song.
I mean, it was fucking great. No, that shit gets you hyped up.
Dragon Ball series has always been good with their fights, and this definitely was one of those times that it lived up to the hype that it was setting up for. But like you said, yeah, it should have definitely, for the other hype, for the actual new technique or form, they should have been a little bit more clearer with how they set it up and
explaining it better. I mean, even Grand Peace is looking at it, and he was like, I think I know what that is. He's like, I can't believe he fucking mastered it. I mean, it's a big shock. Even the God's Destruction, I was surprised that this mortal achieved what none of those idiots could. Yeah. Even the angels were really taken back by that. The only one who really realized what was going on was Grand Priest and Whis. Yeah. And Whis, because he's been training Goku how to use that. And he was so happy that he did it. He even fucking started throwing some dirt onto Beerus about it. Like, what do you think about that? Then he started sweating because he knows why. Like, if this dude has that, I'm dead. Because Whis explains that in the manga. Like, dude, if you learned how to do that, and stuff, you're Ultra Instinct. He doesn't call Ultra Instinct though. He says if you learn how to do that to fight without thinking, you could be anybody. Like Beerus is nothing for you. No one could beat you. That's it.
I like how they made it dramatic when when Goku disappeared. Everybody's like, "Is Goku dead?" And then all of a sudden he started coming back, and Whis is looking at Beerus, and he's like, "You have anything to say?" And then Beerus is like, he's come back. Very dramatic, and then Goku comes back. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, oh my god.
I thought that was the best out of all the power-ups they've ever had in this series. I felt like this was the best one out of all the transformations. Comparing to Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan God. I mean, I felt like I think it was the best. The only one that comes close will be when Gohan went Super Saiyan 2. That's the only other one, and I felt like this was right up there.
This was a nice mix of, and it was a nice mix of that because it had the feel of like a Super Saiyan level up, but it also had the feel of like, like you said, like just there was something about it that it just felt like epic. Like it was an epic reveal, and the fight, of course, throughout all of it, and the fact that Goku lost. Goku lost. His powers died down. He was saved. By Vegeta. Was he saved by Vegeta before getting eliminated?
No, he was actually saved by Hit because this dude dusted him with that. Then Hit saw an opportunity to attack when Girin's guard was dropped, but then you found out that even Whis explained, he's like, even that, like this character is so good that even he doesn't have that weakness of having his guard drop. Because normally whenever an opponent finishes another opponent, they're already their guard is dropped. He doesn't have that weakness. This dude literally has no weakness except for one, which we'll talk about the next episode. Because I really spotted that. Actually, there were little hints of that in this one too, with the Brie Brienne, because he didn't eliminate Brie Brienne. He didn't eliminate her. He didn't even want to fuck with her. It shows you like what kind of character that Girin is. Even when other people, even his teammates, he looks at them like they're beneath him too. Because when they were attacking Goku, he was fucking giving them a little fucking nah, fucking get away. You know what I'm saying? You're not helping. even Toppo put his head down. He's like, oh, I see. I'm not needed here.
I'm not wanted. Yeah, I'm not needed. Sorry about that, Jiro.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. And like we were saying in the last episode, it's stuff about Frieza. And Frieza went ahead and swooped Goku away after Vegeta was trying to like have Goku explain himself. I thought that was interesting how like now Frieza's like has him in his possession and stuff. Is about to do whatever he wants to him.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be interesting to see the next fight between Hit and Jiren.
Yeah, and like I said, like it's just there's a lot of questions with this episode. What is Ultra Instinct? What is it exactly? I know people are trying to like analyze it and stuff, but we don't know. And I know people are starting to do power scaling and shit, which I fucking hate right now. Like doing it this early on, we just learned all the capabilities of Blue. Literally, this is like now we got the full blueprint of Blue. Blue can't go any further than what it went to. What Goku took it. Okay. Now we just got Ultra Instinct. You really can't analyze it yet because, like I said, like I told you, unless I have to really like see an episode of manga come out to really fully understand what this Ultra Instinct is. Because also he had the heat. Even Whis was a little confused. He was like, "I know what that is, but what is his heat? Why is that?" And that was a big question. Like, what is that heat? Even Girin has said, "Oh, this is your limit. This heat." So this heat may not even be part of Ultra Instinct. It might be like
something else.
Something else that Goku might have and stuff. Like that's why I said there's a lot to explain. Like this heat may not be part of the technique. He may not have this in the future if he perfects this move. This heat might be like a hindrance to him.
It's like you said. It's too early to kind of gauge this technique because it just came out. But again, another solid 2-part episode. Great fights. It's one of those, like you said, that you could watch over and over again. And it's going to be interesting to see where it goes in this next episode. But that's going to do it for this episode of Kamehame Now. Always follow us on Twitter or here, by subscribing, like, share, comment. Definitely we want to hear your favorite moments of the fights, what you think about the new technique, and we'll see you next time.